Less than 2 months into a powerful communist position in South Africa, Cyril Mabaile has not minced his words on the global balance of forces precipitated by the brutal war in Ukraine. Russia invaded its neighbor Ukraine since February this year, saying it wanted to denazify and demilitarize the Kyiv regime.
The USA and its European counterparts are trying to weaken socialism and socialist projects in China, for instance. Because even this war against Russia, the ultimate target is China. Why China? China is today leading the world in the development of productive forces, that is, instruments of productions, the machines that produces other machines for services and goods of society. It has almost technologically gone ahead of the USA.
Turning to another region of Latin America, Mabaile has called for more concerted efforts in supporting Venezuela that has been slapped with sanctions by the West.
The same thing that they try to impose huge sanctions on Venezuela, the Bolivarian Republic. We must pledge solidarity with Venezuela equally, with Bolivia, with Nicaragua in Latin America and other progressive forces that are emerging in that region. In Africa, of course, we have Western Sahara, the last colony on the continent that must continue to be supported by all of us.
As Brazil is caught up in the election fever, former President Lula da Silva seems to be leading on the latest polls as he battles it out with incumbent President Jair Bolsonaro. Under the leadership of former COSATU General Secretary Zolinzi Mavavi, there was a great deal of support for what got to be widely known as Lula moment in terms of tackling poverty and inequalities.
We wish the working class of Brazil, we wish the peasants, that the NGOs that are progressive, the ordinary Brazilians who in the past rallied behind the presidency of Lula da Silva to come back and to make one statement that they must make Lula again the most popular leader that he was when he left the office in 2010. If you remember, he left the office as the only person in this whole world who enjoyed an 80% approval rate from within his people.
We are excited that eventually President Lula has now been given an opportunity to stand for the election. In fact, we never believed the accusation that it has. As you know, Brazil has been under dictatorship sometimes before this party, the Workers' Party, the PT Party, which Lula is leading. By the way, he's a former trade unionist himself. And we have some close relationship between the PT and the CUT Brazil, which he was the leader of.
Meanwhile, this gathering will afford COSATU and its allies across the world to seek solutions as the world is battling with a myriad of challenges. Khalihle Khumalo, SABC News, Johannesburg.